Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Runesto, and we're going to have a little fun. We're going to look at the top 10 glass cards in all of Magic. So now, at number 10. Well, the first one being on our list is Shard of Broken Glass. It's from Shadows over Innistrad. It's a common, that's right, 5 cents on the market. Well, it costs 1. Equipped creature gets plus 1/0. Whenever a creature attacks, you may put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. So it does have a little backfire, but I don't know if it's a little fun. It's at number 10, that's why. And there's actually not a lot of glass cards in Magic. So let's move on to number 9. And well, at number 9, we have Glass Golem for Ravnica, City of Guilds. It's an uncommon going for 15 cents on the market. There's absolutely nothing special about it other than the artwork is actually really impressive. It costs 5 for a 6/2. So if you can give this creature unblockable or whatever, even trample would be cool. It does have 6 attack. So let's move on to number 8. And we have another one that's not too special. Hopefully we get to the better ones after this. It is Glass App from Time Spiral. It's a common going for 15 cents on the market, which is more expensive than most commons. Costs for a 3/2/1, but it says, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player loses 2 life at the beginning of his or her next draw step, unless he or she pays 2 before that step. So it kind of makes the opponent, do you want to lose life or do you want to pay 2? It does have that flex, which is really cool because it can constrict the player from doing things. So let's move on to number 7. We have Scrying Glass from Urza's Destiny. It's a rare, that's right, just 25 cents. So even old school cards aren't worth a lot. Pay 2, cost 3, says choose a number greater than 0 and a color. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. If that opponent reveals exactly the chosen number of cards and the chosen color, you draw a card. So that's kind of cool. Definitely I would recommend like Duress or something because you can play Scrying Glass as immediately as you can. It does help drawing cards, and it does make the opponent show their cards all the time if you choose to play that. So let's move on to number 6. Next on our list is my personal favorite from recent cards is Glass Casket from Throne of Eldraine. It's an uncommon going for 7 cents on the market. When it was standard, it was actually worth quite a couple bucks, but anyway, it isn't anymore. Cost 2 mana. It says when it enters the battlefield, X target creature an opponent controls with a converted mana cost of 3 or less until it leaves the battlefield. So, I keep saying so, but I do like this card because it does remove anything on the battlefield early on in the game. Let's move halfway down our list to number 5. Next we have is Twinning Glass from Lorwyn. It's a rare going for 25 cents as well. I do like the picture as well on this one. It does cost 4 mana, but it does pay 1 to tap, says you may play a non-land card from your hand without paying its mana cost if it has the same name as a spell that was played this turn. So that's definitely interesting. You can, again, like with most cards, have fun with that. If you play a creature and then, well, it's an expensive one and you have 1 mana left, you can use that Twinning Glass and just put it with another creature or something like that, or anything. So let's move on to number 4. Next we have is Glass Cast Heart. Well, this is an artifact, so that's not a planeswalker, which the abilities does make a difference because planeswalkers are quite easier to destroy. Whenever one more or vampires you control attack, create a blood token. Again, blood tokens are quite easy played. At the time of this video, blood tokens can be put out quite fast and quite easily. But it does have pay 1 swamp and 1 life, create a 1/1 white and black vampire creature token with lifelink. So yeah, you can get life and that vampire to create those tokens. Because that's the tricky part. It costs 2 swamp, sacrifice the heart, and 13 blood tokens. Each opponent loses 13 life and gain 13 life. So it is kind of really cool. I like that ability. It's not something you commonly see with the whole 13 life. So let's move on to number 3, where we got Gerard's Hourglass Pendant, which is really cool because we haven't heard him in a while. We got Dominaria United Commander with the series from that card. It's a rare going for $2.89 on the market. Costs 1 and it has flash, and as you guys know, I love flash. It says if a player would begin an extra turn, that player skips that turn instead, which is very, very rare as there are not many cards. I think there's only 12 blue cards that can give extra turns. Anyways, so they cost 4 mana. It says exile pendant, return to the battlefield tapped all artifact, creature, enchantment, and land cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Well, that does put a hamper on all destruction cards. So let's move on to number 2. And next we got is Glass of the Guildpact from Ravnica Allegiance. It's a rare, that's right, 18 cents on the market time of this video. And I believe this one's really underpowered because it only costs 2 mana to play. It says multicolored creatures you control get +1/+1. So it's just a quick boost. For 2 mana, when it comes to glass cards, I think this is very, very good. And even in general, it just gives those cards an extra boost. I'm going to keep saying that. It doesn't affect much. So let's just move on to number 1. Then we have, that's right, Scour Glass from Shards of Alara. It's a rare, going for $4.70 at the time of this video. Well, when it comes to glass cards, this is really good. It costs 5 mana for an artifact, so it's not a spell. It says sacrifice to destroy all permanents except for the artifacts and lands. Play this ability only during your upkeep. I say that's very impressive. It's not a spell, and you can use it anytime. You can really manipulate things. This is actually not just a great glass card. It's actually quite a good playable card, as long as no one has a destroyed target artifact. But then again, that's a chance you have to take. And I like that. Make an artifact deck, put this in. You can definitely have quite some fun. So I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening.